welcome back to my prep vlog. I cannot believe that this is week 4 of my prep vlog. The weeks really are flying by, and as you saw in the title of this vlog, the struggle bus hit me real hard. And it's, I think, something really important to talk about, and I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But before I do, talk a little bit about my, well, it all combines, so we'll talk about it all at the same time. So my check-in this week, I'm going to insert my check-in photos here. And this is interesting because I actually did 2 sets of check-ins or check-in photos this week. These are my check-in photos from the day that I usually take them, which is Saturday. These are from Sunday. These are Sunday's pictures. The pictures I took on Saturday was the day that I was hit by the struggle bus. And even though the pictures look good when I look back at them, the way I was feeling when I took them was some other kind of way. So let's talk about what to do on the hard days on prep. And you will have one. At some point, if you prep enough, you are gonna have a day where, for whatever reason, the struggle bus has hit you real hard. And I feel like the more you can kind of mentally prepare yourself for what am I going to do in that moment or in those moments to succeed and to not become derailed. Now, there are ultimately things that can happen during a prep that are completely unforeseen that might derail you entirely. Stress that needs your, when I say stress, I mean like something in your life that needs to take priority over your prep, whether that be a family issue. Injury could definitely be one. I mean, if you get injured on prep, that's not your fault, but it might completely derail your prep. And how are you going to process that, and how are you going to deal with that? Now, you may not know how you're going to deal with those things until they come up. However, knowing that there could be times on prep where you really are struggling either mentally or physically with exhaustion or hunger will only help you be more prepared for when those moments do arise. The important thing, I think, first off, is making sure that anyone who's in your life, who holds an important spot in your life, and maybe even your employer, kind of letting them know, like, this is what I'm doing. There might be times when I'm feeling X kind of way, depending on the type of relationship that is, whether it be your partner or your perhaps work friends or boss, letting them know maybe what to expect is going to really help everybody process all these things a lot better. For me, the struggle that hit me this week was my coach set a weight. He's basically said at or below this weight, we make no changes. We continue the plan as normal. Macros stay the same every day. Nothing changes at all. Well, I had 2 days over the course of the last week where I was slightly above that. One I kind of thought was a fluke. But then Saturday morning I woke up and it was like 0.2 pounds higher than even that previous one, even though I'd had a drop in between. So I had this weigh-in that was above the threshold, one that was below, and then one that was above. And I just kind of started to panic because, like I said, the weeks feel like they're flying by, and I don't want to feel like I'm backsliding or making negative progress, not making progress. So, I could have done one of 2 things, right? I could have freaked out and tried to reflexively do things to make up for that, what I perceived in my mind as a high weigh-in, which it was. But what I decided to do instead was, just take a step back. First off, I reached out to my coach, just kind of said what was happening. I also reached out to supportive friends in the bodybuilding community who can, kind of help talk me down. I did my normal cardio, I ate my normal meals, and I fought the urge to do anything that could have potentially made this situation worse. I didn't do extra cardio, I didn't do extra steps, I didn't restrict my food, even though that might have been where a mind would want to go, right? Like, oh my gosh, we're running out of time, I need to do something drastic, I should do more cardio, I should do this, I should do that. I didn't do any of that. I knew that I had been on my plan 100% leading up to those days, so I knew, you know a lot of things in your mind, but do you actually know them? But I knew that I had not done anything to quote unquote mess up my prep. I didn't have an untracked cheat meal, I didn't have untracked macros, I didn't skip cardio, I didn't skip my workouts, I didn't do anything that would kind of cause that. I had some pretty rough sleep for a few nights, which I didn't really realize until I went back and looked at my Aura app. I wear the Aura ring. So when I went back and looked, I'm like, wow, my sleep was kind of degrading as the week went on. And I also had a really hard workout on Wednesday. So my workout was really hard. So you can definitely be carrying some inflammation from that. And then lo and behold, after all of this stress, I still did my check-in photos. I still did my posing. I posted it on Instagram like I normally do, even though in my mind, I felt awful about the way it looked. I was really unhappy with how the posing looked. I was feeling stiff. I was not posing well. And that's something else that your mind will almost play tricks on you. So if you perceive that you're not doing well, you're not going to do well. And that's something where getting on stage, I try really hard to visualize myself doing really well and to visualize things going really well. And that moment on Saturday when I was practicing my posing, I was just I was, in that mindset of like, everything is going wrong. I look terrible. What if I wake up on show day looking like this and feeling like this? But I still did the things. I still executed my plan like I was supposed to without letting it get too much in my head. It clearly was in my head, but without letting it get too much in my head. So Sunday morning, I woke up, had my lowest weight yet on prep. So all of that to say that what I did in that moment was the correct thing. I trusted my plan. I trust my coach. I stuck with it. I didn't do anything that would make things worse. And that really, for me, on prep, I have several goals. Goal number 1 is to have fun and enjoy the process. Goal number 2 is not to get injured. Don't do stupid stuff in the gym. Like, don't ego lift. This is not the time to set PRs. Like, don't do anything stupid in the gym. And that was another motivating factor for me on Saturday, knowing that I had one of my hardest workouts of the week coming up on Sunday. If I was to restrict calories on Saturday, well, then my workout's going to suffer. So I don't want to make negative progress. I want to continue to lift with as much intensity as I possibly can, safely. Rule number 2, don't get injured. My goal right now is to maintain muscle. I need to maintain as much muscle as I possibly can. I'm quite lean. So maintaining muscle throughout this prep is very high up on my list without getting injured or being stupid about it. So not doing things that would make my workout potentially worse are very important to me. So that was something else when I was really struggling. I had to remind myself, like, you have a really hard workout coming tomorrow. You need to perform your best tomorrow. So this means you need to stay on plan today. So those are all, some things that might be helpful when you hit those days where you're struggling. Think back in your mind, know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Reach out to your coach, reach out to your friends and support system that understand the journey that you're on. This is probably not the time to reach out to your friend who is always trying to get you to have just one bite of food or go out for just one drink. That person in that moment is probably only going to feed into the negative feelings that you're having. Reaching out to other people who are in the bodybuilding community. Leave me a comment if you're having one of those days, to offer that support. As I mentioned in my previous video, bodybuilding can be somewhat isolating. You can very much feel like you're alone, especially if, you've got all these people around you who don't really understand what you're going through in that moment. Finding people who do or who have been through it themselves to help give you some support and some encouragement in those moments is really key. And I am fortunate to have both of those things. I have a coach that I trust and support, and I have a great community of friends in the bodybuilding world who I can reach out to in those tough moments. So if you are, struggling, just know that you're not alone. We've all been there. We will all be there. We'll all continue to be there. I will hit the struggle bus is going to knock me sideways again at some point, probably on prep. And I will be ready for it as best I can. And I will try to look at it as analytically and logically as possible when that happens and deal with it the best way I know how. So all that said, I have not received my final feedback from my coach yet this week to see if there are going to be any changes. I don't suspect that there will be. I think he'll probably just tell me to keep on trucking this week, and that's great. In the video to come, I'm going to be talking about my prep hacks, just some fun little tips and tricks and things that make my prep life a lot easier. In a future video, I do plan on talking about hunger hacks as well. That'll probably be next week's video where I talk about some hunger hacks and some other things that I do to manage hunger on prep and just to, deal with life when you might be a little bit calorie low or a little bit in a deficit. Hopefully in this video, I don't know yet, but if it is coming, you'll see that in the timestamps. I hope that my fabric samples get here from Angel Competition Bikinis because it is getting within that time frame. I would tell a new competitor, definitely give yourself at least 12 weeks before a show to order your suit. So we are here. The clock is a ticking on suit ordering. So hopefully that happens this week. and I will have that to share later on in the video. And it's always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of this week on prep. It is week 4, and I am super excited to share the journey. So this was my grocery haul for this week. I thought this was going to be a video, but when I uploaded it, it would not play. So look at this, it's a still shot. But I'll still just kind of walk you through what I got. I got another big bag of the cauliflower rice, the organic frozen cauliflower rice that I love so much. And I really enjoyed having shrimp last week, so I got 2 more bags of the raw shrimp. I've been cooking these in the air fryer. They cook up super fast, and I cook up, probably 3 servings at a time. I don't like to cook up a ton of fish in advance. I eat it cold, and that's one of the reasons I've really been enjoying the shrimp, is because it is so good cold. I finally found some beautiful zucchinis. Look at those beauties. They are gorgeous, and they are so delicious. Like these kind of first zucchinis of summer. They're sweet, they're tender, they're just super good. Did a pack of the apple cider vinegar that's also from Costco, and another box of egg whites. Also got a big bag of decaf coffee, which I will be talking about more in the next clip. Some honey mustard, a new seasoning blend that's actually super tasty. I think it's like a maple kind of season. It's really nice. Another bag of fat-free cheddar. And this week I went with the wild cherry Prep Vice water, and it's super tasty. So that's it. I had a bunch of other stuff that I needed. I had a ton of cucumbers left in the fridge, and some other things that I needed for the week. So I just picked up these few little fill-in groceries this week. Hello everyone. So it is time to talk prep hacks. And I tried to make this, or thought of a way to make this a little bit more fun. So I actually put all of my prep hacks in this bag. And I'm gonna reach in and grab something, and we're gonna talk about it. So these are just some kind of interesting or different tips, tricks, whatever, life hacks, prep hacks, not related to food or like eating specifically. I'll probably cover those when I cover like hunger hacks or other types of like eating or meal prep on prep. But I just kind of wanted to talk about some things that were not related to food or eating, and things that really help me in prep and just in life also. So let's get started. I'm gonna reach into the bag here. Oh, this is actually the case that goes to my camera, and it has all of my extra things in it. It has my backup battery, it has an extra SIM card, it has a charging cable, it has the little wind cover for the microphone. This is my hack. Keep things that you need at the same time or could be needed together. So for me, if I take something out of this, what I do is I unzip it and I don't re-zip it until I put whatever piece I've taken out of it back in. That way I know in the morning, if I'm running around grabbing my stuff, that all of my computer or all of my camera things that I need for the day are in this bag. And if this bag is unzipped, I need to do a double check to see what is missing. What did I not put back in here? What do I need for the day? And this really could go for anything. Anything that you know you need on a daily basis, or you always need in the same time frame, situation, whatever. It's your gym bag, making sure that all of your things are in your gym bag. If you need your lifting belt, if you need a specific pair of shoes, backup headphones, anything you can do to just minimize inconvenience and also minimize the need to be running through mental checklists in your head all the time, the better. And that's why I say things like your gym bag, or like this bag that has my camera things in it. I know I'm gonna need these at some point, and they just might as well all be together rather than apart. So going through your life and kind of thinking, what are those things that I need all at the same time every day, or all in the same situation, and just making sure that they are all together. And if you do have a system, for me it's the unzipping the bag, to make sure that if something was to be taken out of where it should be in that little world or this little bag bubble, that you know that and can then look further. So you don't get to the gym and not have your headphones or your weight belt, or you don't go to record a video and you have no SIM card. She would never. So that is tip number, or hack number 1. All right, what's next? Oh, let's do this big guy. This is what was making the bag so heavy. So this is decaf coffee. And if you watched my video from last week, I think it was last week, where I went through my post-workout meal, you saw that I make decaf coffee. Now, why do I do that? I do that for a couple of reasons. I love coffee. I love the experience of coffee. I love the warmth. I love the like ritual, you know, the grinding of the beans, the smell, the everything. However, when I am on prep, I do tend to take need a pre-workout. I might also want to utilize other sources of caffeine throughout the day or other types of stimulants, and I don't want to overstimulate myself, but I also don't want to miss out on my coffee. So the perfect solution is decaf. Now there is a decaf coffee that I am obsessed with. It's called Slow Motion. It's from a smaller roasting company. You can get it I think you can even get it at Target in most places, but Whole Foods carries it as well. However, it is extremely pricey. So yes, I did. If you see my video, I did my quick shopping haul from this week. You saw that I picked up this big bag of Costco coffee. It's fine. I don't love it. I've looked online to see if it is Swiss water processed because that is really important to me. And they do have the Swiss water process logo on here, which is why I did go ahead and purchase this. The other decaf that I like that is actually a really reasonably priced and you can get it on Amazon is San Francisco Roasters. They make a really nice decaf. This one is it's slightly more roasted than I would like it to be. However, still delicious. I had a cup of it last night. Why is this also a prep hack? Is because it's just kind of nice sometimes to have something that you can go to that is, no macros, just black coffee that still tastes good and that kind of gives you a palate change essentially, especially if like maybe you're craving something really sweet or really salty, just one of those more like intense flavors. I find for me, coffee kind of is a way to hack that a little bit. And I know I said I was going to make this about food, but it's really more just about like the mental state too. Like you can just sit, the coffee's warm, or you can make it iced coffee and you can just kind of sip it and it really is just a nice palate changer. So decaf coffee, don't overstimulate yourself and get a little change of taste, change of pace taste. All right, next. Oh, this is a great one. So this is not what this is about. This is a tube of mascara. However, what I put this in here to signify is Amazon Subscribe and Save. So I utilize Amazon Subscribe and Save quite a lot. I do utilize it for things like mascara. Those things, this kind of is like the bag hack. So as many of the things in your life that you can kind of just make autopilot, that you can then free up your mental space to think about other things, the better. I know that when the new mascara shows up, regardless of what I think about the mascara I am currently using, it is time to throw it away and use the new one. I also have things like my rice cakes, Kleenex, like tissues, on Subscribe and Save because it's just one less thing that I ever have to think about ordering. And the great thing with Subscribe and Save is at least, you can group things together. They're delivered right to your house. You don't have to think about picking them up and you can change the schedule. So if you find that you're getting something more frequently, you can skip a month whenever you want. There are definitely things that I don't get when I'm on prep or vice versa. They do get when I'm on prep and I don't get in my off season. And it's really easy just to skip a month or 2 months or whatever, or get it sooner. I actually have done that. I've changed my ship date because there were enough things. I think if you do 5 items together, you get like an additional 15% off your entire order. And there were just a few things I needed, but I wanted them like right now. I'm like, well, what else could I just, on my Subscribe and Save, do I, not maybe need right now, but also could get right now and it would be fine. So I did that. I moved it up. I changed the ship date to the following, as soon as possible so that I could get it really quickly, and I just had it shipped. So I find that it just really helps me to keep the things that I know I need on hand all the time. And that is a huge hack. So ladies, change your mascara. This is my tip. This is my PSA, change your mascara. All right. Oh, and also, works out well because this is something that I also have on Subscribe and Save. This is the Dreft bottle and dish soap. This is a plant-based formula, says cuts through milk film. Why is this a prep hack? This is a prep hack because if you have ever left protein powder, even just the teeniest bit of protein powder or even like BCAAs or something in a shaker cup for an extended period of time, the like gut-wrenching, like stomach turning horror that is the smell and just kind of that permeates those plastic products. It just kind of hit me. I'm like, well, what else is gross? Baby formula. And this is actually meant to cut through those protein molecules. So like I said, like BCAAs or protein powder that's been left in a cup can start to leave that really funky smell, even if you're washing it or even putting it through the dishwasher. I was finding that some of my blender parts were like still just kind of getting funky. And since I've started using this, it has changed everything with like my shaker cups, my protein, or my blender cups, everything. I clean everything right away. And the other thing I really love about this is it is completely fragrance free. So this is the one from Draft. There are other companies that make baby bottle specific washes. And so even if, you know, something doesn't get completely rinsed, I'm not worried that it's going to be toxic, which I appreciate, but it doesn't leave that dish soap smell on anything. That's something I find really unappetizing, especially like, and again, in plastic products, they can tend to hold on to smell. So like if you're using like even a fragrance-free dish soap, I feel like Dawn and those, they still have that kind of like chemically, I think it's the grease cutters that they use maybe, like that smell just really clings to plastic, and I find it really off-putting. Whereas with this, there's literally zero fragrance. It rinses really well. I ultimately end up using it to wash most of my dishes just because it's right there. It's right by the sink. I mean, the only time I'll switch to something that's heavier dutier is maybe if I'm cleaning out my air fryer or something that, you know, could need a little bit more of that grease cutting versus like the just kind of general cleaning, because this really, it cleans everything extremely well. It rinses super clean. I really love it. I get the 3-pack delivered, and that way I never run out. So big hack. Clean your protein containing items or your protein shakers, blender cups, all that stuff with a baby bottle dish soap, and you will get rid of all the smell or any funkiness completely. Love it. All right. Oh, and it works out perfectly that the next thing in here is my blender cup. This is actually 2 hacks in 1. So, or 3. I mean, I guess if you consider the dish soap part of this hack, it kind of is. So my first item in here, this awesome brush. You see that it has like this end, and then you can flip it, and it's got this guy. So the part I use the most is actually this part. And I had started out, you know, when I got my blender, this blender, I think my last blender was like this too. I've gone through some blenders. I'll talk about that when I talk about like food hacks or meal prep hacks, my blender saga. But you see how the threads and like the cup seats down into the body of the blade. So even if you rinse this area as much as you think you possibly can, I mean, I'm like using like the full blast of my sink, I found that there's a gasket down in there that's rubber, way down in there. I mean, you can see how deep down in that goes. Like it's way in there. And I was grossed out the first time I ran this brush through there and just kind of like and this was right after I used it, how much I was able to get out. So every time I use my blender cup, and I do this twice a day, I just put a pump of the baby bottle soap kind of right here in the threads. And I run this brush all the way around to really clean out that gasket and to get anything off of the threads. And again, like I said, you'll be shocked how much like gets down in there. It's shocking. And the other cool thing is it actually fits over the blade part really easily. These blades are really sharp, and this way, you know, I'm not worried about cutting myself or like destroying a sponge on them, which is really nice. I can flip it around and use this part to like really get in and clean the little kind of space in between right there. I also can use it on the edge of the cup, you know, so this where the threads are, because the threads are on the inside, clean around the edge of the cup. It does have the side that looks like a crocodile mouth is meant to clean the edge of like right where you drink. You just slide that around. I use a spoon to eat my protein shake because I like it thick, but this would be great, you know, for cleaning any of your other water bottles. I got a pack of these on Amazon for like $10 for 3 of them. I haven't broken one of these yet, but I have broken a lot of the ones that are actually made for cleaning baby bottles, is what I used to use to clean down around that gasket. But I kept breaking them. They're almost like a slightly Christmas tree shaped, whereas this one, because the metal like loops through it, I find it's way stronger. So I actually have not broken one. So they are a little more durable than the ones that come like with the bottle brush that's meant to like clean out the nipple of the bottle brushes. These are way better. And yeah, super handy. Just leave it by the sink. I throw it through the dishwasher every time I run the dishwasher, and love it. The other hack that goes with this is this neoprene sleeve. So I like my protein shake to be pretty thick. I like to eat it with a spoon. And sometimes I like to kind of just linger over it and take my time eating it. But I was finding that my protein shakes were melting really fast. So I got these for like use on other iced drinks, like, you know, a coffee shop style drink. And I was like, I bet that would fit on my blender cup. And sure enough, it's like a perfect fit, and it keeps my protein shakes from melting too quickly. And even sometimes, like if I throw this on there, if I need to take it to work, like it actually keeps it cold. Now, it's not gonna keep it cold forever. It's, you know, it's not like it's a frozen thing, but you can get them that come up higher. This one just happens to be the one I had, but you can definitely get one to, you know, come up higher on the cup that would, if you needed to take your protein shake with you for a longer period of time, it would probably help keep it colder for longer. But for me, it's perfect, and also keeps my hand from being freezing. It's like a bonus. It's like a little sweater, so my hand doesn't get cold. I can eat my protein shake as slowly as I like. It's the best. So get yourself a neoprene sleeve for your blender cup so you can enjoy your protein shake as slowly as you like, and you don't have a cold hand. All right. Oh, knock that over. What's next? Oh, I don't know why I'm acting surprised. Like I know what I put in there. It's like I've already forgotten. So this is my slipper. When you are getting super lean, you start to lose fat from like all over your body, obviously. But even for me, I find that my feet get uncomfortably bony feeling, I guess. So I wear slippers. I have hard surfaces in my house. I put slippers on as soon as I get home, because if I don't, like I know it sounds crazy, but like it's like your feet hurt to touch the ground when you're really, really lean. It's just like the bones have a lot of pressure on them. Yeah. So I love slippers. These ones just make me happy because they get the smiley face on them, and they're really comfortable. The other thing I love is that they are washing machine safe. So I just throw them through the washing machine. Yeah, so they stay nice and clean, which I like. And they have kind of a grippy surface, which I also like because I don't like sliding around on the wood floors. So it helps not slide, and it just keeps my delicate prep feet feeling very, very sore on the hardwood floors. So as you get lean, weird stuff happens, and that's one of them. Your feet start to not be able to take a hard surface. Next thing. This is an essential oil blend from Eden Gardens. It is called Good Night. Again, on prep or off, you know, sleep is super important, but especially on prep, it's really important that you're getting good quality sleep. You know, when we are in a deficit, it's important to try and maintain as much muscle mass as possible and just recover as well as we possibly can. And that's challenging when you're eating in a calorie deficit. So maximizing your sleep quality is really important. And I do wear the Oura Ring. You saw that earlier in the video where I was talking about my sleep scores throughout the week leading up to, you know, last week leading into this week, essentially. So I do see the difference if I skip this at night or if I'm just away from home and don't get to use it. The way I use this, so it is an essential oil blend. I don't put it in an aromatizer or a diffuser. I've actually tried that and I just don't find it as powerful as the way I do it. So after I've done all of my, you know, skincare at night, put all my other lotions on, I put just a little bit of fragrance-free body lotion in my palm, put a drop or two of the Good Night, and then I rub it together. I take a couple of like nice deep breaths in, like just to really breathe that aroma in. And then I rub it on like this part of my like kind of upper décolletage and chest, like along my collarbones, and sometimes even like kind of on the back of my neck. And that way, you know, when I get into bed, I've got the little bit that's then left on my hands, but the aroma is just like right there. So I find that it really helps me fall asleep very quickly. This is a blend, and the blend contains lavender, marjoram, chamomile, a little bit of ylang ylang, sandalwood, key lime, and vanilla. And it just really helps me kind of get my head in the game to fall asleep. And for me, at least, it really does, I feel like, help me sleep better. So love that. Anything you can do to help sleep. Oh, and as of recording, the entire site is actually 25% off. You do not need a code, but the sale only goes through June 30th. So if you're watching this when I release it, you'll still have a few days to take advantage of the 25% off on this and everything on their site. Cannot recommend them highly enough. I've been using Eden Gardens for years. I mean, I would say, I feel like since they've been around, I feel like it's been like 10 years, but it's probably been longer than that. They make lovely blends. They also do individual essential oils, extremely high quality. Love this product and just love Eden as a company. So I feel like I think I only have one left. Yes. Right? Yes. Oh. So my last one is my gigantic paper day planner. I am old school in the sense that I like being able to see things. So it has, every month has a month view, and then there's a week breakdown for every single week. So you have, Monday through Sunday. It does start with Monday at the top. There's a little checklist or like your top priorities for the week. And then if you're tracking healthy habits, there's also places in the book for notes and for other things. For me though, when you are managing prep and a full-time job and just life, and if you have kids or whatever, or a spouse, all those things, it can be a lot. And what I find is that I keep everything in here, work-related, life, personal, other things, everything together, so that I'm never having to try and juggle like multiple calendars. It's all in one. I also, that's what this is. This is all of my markers or my pens essentially. So I have everything color coordinated. So every color for me signifies a specific thing. So like when I'm writing our surgeries in the book, I put those in red. If it's a office-based procedure, it's a specific type of blue. If it's something specific for my boss, I put it in a very distinct green. The things for me on prep are in a kind of magenta. Birthdays, I put in lilac, so just all those things make it really easy when I look at a month. I mean, I'm showing you December, which has only one thing on it, which is the water delivery for the office, which is of course in blue. But when you look at one of my months, I can't show you because there's, information on there that I can't let be seen. But I mean, just for me looking down at June, I mean, I've got like every color. Next week, there are multiple colors. Every day has multiple colors. Even today, I'm getting my nails done later today. So that's on there in a different color. Where I'm at in prep, how many weeks out I am, all of those things. It's like the book or the bag in the beginning. It's just something that helps take out mental stress or worry, because I can just add things in as I carry this with me everywhere as the day goes on. I also keep like another sticky note in the front that has lines so I can write things on it. It's one of those places where if you're thinking about something or like, oh gosh, I need to do this on Monday. Well, who's going to remember by the time Monday rolls around? I mean, at least for me, my weeks get going and it's just like I feel like it's instantly the following Monday. So if I'm thinking about something over the weekend, I don't have to be like, oh, maybe I should send myself an email or write myself a memo on my phone. I just put it in the book for Monday and it's right there. So it's something that kind of helps keep my brain calm in a way. I'm able to come home from the gym in the morning. I flip to the week. I look to see what's coming up. Like, oh, I have to run payroll this day. I have this coming up this week. Sales tax is due. Just all those things that could easily slip through the cracks if they aren't written down. And yes, I'm sure there are people who function really well off of like an electronic calendar or other forms of electronically managing this data, which is great. For me, I'm old school. I like to have it. I like to touch it. I like to be able to write on it and change it. Like I said, the colors, just so helpful. So for me, I'm fine being old school, and it's kind of fun, right? I get to pick my colors, I get to write stuff down, or write myself notes. And then, the following year, things like the water, that was one of the first things I did when I got the book. Went through and wrote down every single water delivery for the whole month, which I know sounds crazy, but when you drink a lot of water, it's easy to get in a state of panic when you feel like you're running out of water at the office. Like, oh my gosh, we're gonna run out of water. So those are my non-traditional prep hacks, tips. If you would like me to send you the information on any of these things specifically, they're all kind of generic essentially. You can find those in the description below. I will link the slow motion coffee because it is, if you are a coffee lover and you think that decaf is disgusting, try this coffee. It is outstanding. It will change your mind about decaf. Slow motion decaf, oh, it's so tasty. So my next clip is going to be my outro for the week. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my feedback from my coach, and you will see that in just a second. All right, thanks for hanging with me. Brought you in a little closer. Now I don't have show and tell to do, just to kind of finish out the week and talk more about the feedback from my coach and any changes we made this week on prep, because we did make some changes. So as you know from watching my intro clip, I was hit by the struggle bus pretty hard and recovered throughout the week. Everything went well. My check-in feedback on Monday was, that we're kind of still in a good place and really, we're fine. So I did ask about one thing with training, and then my coach brought up that he'd just like to kind of redo all of my training. So before this, I was doing a 4-day split. So I had 2 leg focused days and then I had 2 upper body days. And so now He sent me all new workouts, which I started on Wednesday, which was great. He sent them to me Tuesday night, so I was able to kind of review everything and get started right away on Wednesday. I will have 3 leg days, which I definitely need. You know, the things I really need to work on improving are absolutely my glutes and my shoulders. I mean, this is typical with bikini competitors. However, for me specifically, my glutes are really a weak point. Like, they are quite small. Definitely under muscled, so I really need to work on bringing my glutes up, and of course my shoulders could always use work. So that was great. It's kind of like learning a new dance when you get new workouts. I am not a program hopper, so I like, and I've told, my coach knows this about me, like I like getting my workouts. I like really being able to feel like I can execute them appropriately and really work on nailing down the movements and really getting in the groove with my workouts. So I tend to run, the same workout for way more than 12 weeks. I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not looking to like jump around or need like muscle confusion or anything. Like, I like to have workouts that I know I can really execute. It helps me get my mind in the game. So it's fun to get new workouts, but it also does feel like, oh gosh, it's a little bit like I said, like you're learning a new dance. Like, you have to kind of, get in the routine, get in the groove, get your flow, kind of get how everything moves from one exercise to the next, all that good stuff. He has also taken out some of my more challenging compound movements. As I get closer to show, my primary goal, as I mentioned in my intro clip, was, do not get injured, have fun, don't get injured. And having things like barbell back squats, as you get a little bit more, for me, I'm not super coordinated, but you don't want to do anything that you have that high risk to be injured. So switching some of those things out for things like a hack squat, where you're in a much more supported position, where you can still continue to really work your legs, but maybe it's not so stressing on your central nervous system, not such a heavy demand on recovery, and also reduces the risk of potential injury. So that's been fun, getting to go through those. And I've got a 5-day split now. So I have three leg days, or 3 lower-ish days. My Friday workout is actually a glute and shoulder day, and then 2 more dedicated upper body days. So I'm back to a 5-day split. I'm doing cardio the same. So I'm still keeping my same cardio. So no changes there, just kind of changing up, adding in 1 more lifting day a week. And we will see how that goes. So far this week, it's been great. So I did 3 of the 5 new workouts. And tomorrow I'll start with, the first one and the second one. And I think that'll be really good. I'm keeping my rest days as Tuesday and Saturday. Before, I had Tuesday, Friday, Saturday were my rest days. It will mean that I need to kind of figure out another place to get in some yoga during the week. Before, I was doing yoga pretty regularly on Tuesday and Friday, and now I'll have to kind of keep Tuesday, maybe do it on Saturday. I definitely want to keep that in my program. One final note about my check-in pictures from this past week. I'm actually going to show it here. Let's put it here. So this is my front pose from Saturday and Sunday. And the difference that I really noted between these two was the difference in the height of my heel. So currently my show day heels are the Olympian 2.0, which has a 4-inch heel. In the picture on Sunday, I was wearing my practice heels, which have a 5-inch heel. And I really like that additional inch on the heel. I feel like it kind of helped, it allows me to arch or push my glutes back a little bit easier, like that little bit of extra lift. I mean, if you think about it, like a lever, if, having that lever push up more kind of allows me to counterbalance and push my glutes out more. So I'm definitely going to order the regular Olympians, and I'm actually going to order them in the mules because I don't like having the ankle strap. I don't feel like I need it. It kind of just annoys me, especially on show day. I hated it. I hated having to deal with the buckle multiple times. Like, you're bending over. I'm worried I'm going to mess up my tan. Like, that's why my practice heels, being able to just slide them off and on, love it. And I never feel like they're going to fall off, especially on show day. Like, your feet, I feel like, are so full of tan. They like grip the shoe. So I'm super excited to order those. Next week, I have a couple of really fun things planned. I have an extreme, probably TMI thing to talk about, specifically related to like pelvic floor health. So if you are at all interested in hearing more about pelvic floor things, I'm going to be talking about that in my next video. I also have a massive suit show day update. So I have some fun stuff coming, talk about my suit saga, and also some pelvic floor stuff. So thank you all so much for hanging with me on this video this week. And I really do appreciate every single one of you who has subscribed to my channel, who's liked my videos and commented. Like, it literally means the world to me. I hope that what I'm putting out is helpful. And my, struggle bus conversation from earlier in the week was pretty raw and real. I tried to record it as quickly as possible after, I had those feelings, just so it would be that way. And I didn't want to take any of that out. So please reach out to me. If you're having a struggle on prep, please reach out to people. Reach out to me. I am happy to, offer some encouragement or some advice always. So love every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Spread positivity to yourself and to the world, and have a great day.